Hey everyone, welcome back. Walk About, Talk About with Richard and Pete. Pete. Interesting things happening in the world today. It appears BRICS is on its way to assuring their dominance in the future economic world. So who has been meeting this week? You got Putin, of course. You got Xi. You got Kim. You got Bodhi, India. All these big players in the world getting together, talking the future of their new trading system that does not include the US dollar. That's not good for us. Unfortunately, I personally have seen it coming for a long time, paying attention to the BRICS, and they're not going away without a major world incident. Then, of course, all economies will be doomed then. I was talking with a guy at lunch today, and he was talking about how Trump's turning our economy around, and I don't know, but I still hear no mandates about small businesses and small business loans, tax breaks. I don't hear any of that. And if I was to start up a small business, the tariffs of imported raw materials to build my widgets has got a 50% markup on it. Maybe even more. A funny thing with everything that's been going on with Ukraine too. You got some non-Ukrainian people in there. Got a person from the Middle East discussing the future of Ukraine with one of the appointed government officials. And apparently a lot of Ukrainians are upset about that. But considering that whole thing is a usual suspect, engineered conflict to try and weaken and destroy Russia. And it's getting so desperate that Zelensky decided he was going to go and try and blackmail Hungary into joining the battle with him against Russia. Last I heard, Hungary was pissed off at Zelensky, Ukraine, for taking out their gas pipeline that came from Russia to their country. And they want to go to war against Zelensky Stein for that freaking for that problem. We got some water up here. Pete, come out of that water. Might be a gator in there. So, it's not looking good on any front as far as what the information outlets here in this country were owned by 6 people, if I remember correctly. Didn't pan out for all their prophetic warnings against Russia collapse, and Trump's been threatening these countries with BRICS, and this whole meeting took off with the threat against India. Trump went and threatened India. You guys stop buying that gas from that evil nation Russia. You know, that evil nation Russia needs to sell India oil so it can have 600 military bases around the world everywhere in these countries it's overthrown the leaders and put in other leaders and allowed its big corporations to come in and steal all the resources and take the profits back and put them in big coffer banks that all those people invested in the military industrial complex with these 600 military bases can bank a profit. I'm sorry, wait a minute. That wasn't Russia that has 600 bases. That's DC. And the Pentagon has 600 bases around the world. Occupying countries in the name of whatever. Is it drugs? Terrorism? The recent one is... The new one here is not going to be drugs. That's the excuse to go into Venezuela. Stop those evil drug cartels. But the truth is, got nothing to do with it. You guys really think that that DC cares about drugs in this country and how it affects you personally with your families? They don't give a shit. They really want out of Venezuela is that oil. Because there's more oil there than Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia sells its oil for something other than US dollars. Strategically, oh man, this door goes all kinds of directions. Lots of directions, this door. I could play 1,000 scenarios why DC and the Pentagon need to capture Venezuela's government and have that oil at their bidding. I give you guys 5 of them right now. 5 different scenarios. First one is going to be drive the prices down so low that Russia can't afford it. It's war against one country instead of having 600 military bases around the world. That's a good one. Second one, blackmail leverage. See, the United States used to sell oil to China in US dollars, but now Iran sells oil in place of the United States to China. Therein lies more sanctions. Oh, well, the threat would be we have cheapest oil in the world. $5 a barrel. Well, the whole freaking world will rally to buy $5 a barrel oil, right? The U.S. is not in it to pay our debt off or anything, or to, with all the billions of dollars of profit that they will not make at $5 a barrel. But what it is to take control back of the oil market and force all the countries leaving and exiting the U.S. dollar for trade, especially oil sales, force them back into the dollar. for oil sales. They want to get it at $5 a barrel. That's kind of too, but then of course if we're going to have a war, we need to have oil. You can't have war if you have to import your oil, especially if you're going to have to go to war against countries that are in a rival monetary system than the one that you work in. Because any country inside of the monetary system that DC works in, they use that monetary system against all their quote-unquote partners or vassal states to manipulate and control their GDPs and how their countries work and everything, what the value is of their currencies, what this should cost in their country. So the profits can go back home into big bottomless coffers. It don't help anybody. This interesting thing about Venezuela, everyone says Venezuela's social state's bad, doesn't work. Because like here, we don't like socialism here. But here, our socialism is based on taking my labor and your labor and giving it to the lazy F. Or subsidizing the fellow American, whatever they need, subsidizing them. Socialism in Venezuela is based on, instead of Exxon and BP walking out with $200–300 billion in profit and putting it into bottomless shareholders' coffers, those $200 billion goes back into their social programs, education, insurance, hospitalization, free medical, cheap fuel. But see, if the corporations go back in there, they'll lose all that, because corporations are not about you taking anything from your land, selling it for a profit, and then taking it back and then improving your country. They're not about that. Especially certain countries, because it's the manipulation of the GDP, the manufacturing base, everything, so America always stays on top. And how has America always done that? Well, if you don't do what we say, we'll come down there and mess you up. Nowadays, we have major players in the world that the United States of America can't go just in there and mess them up to make them quit what they're doing. And by them going around threatening countries, the rest of them are fleeing the bully in the playground, going to the guys, the big dudes over there that have a more civil, social, international order. For everyone is just, do your thing. Going up in there. What's up in there, Pete? Come on. And all the big talk with Putin and Trump does not seem to have any effect on what the major information outlets here in America wanted. As far as the 6 people that own all our information outlets here wanted to have broadcast to the masses. And they're like, well, it's not working out, and the evil dictator against the good people on the other side of the world, the evil dictators on that side of the world. News people should just stay neutral instead of showing their cards every time they make a news report. But other than that, Russia's told the West exactly what they want, to have peace, and that's not what the West wants to give. Because if they do, get out of there, Pete. Pete, come on, get. If Russia gets what it's demanding of the West for this end of the war in Ukraine, well, the West is going to lose. It's going to lose control. It's going to lose face. And all the billions they pissed away, my time here. Oh boy.